Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Cyber Vanguard, your go-to podcast for, well, keeping ahead of the curve in cybersecurity. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jordan. And Alex, we've got a bit of a heavy one today, don't we? I mean, this isn't just, your typical Patch Tuesday kind of thing.
No, it's really not, Jordan. This is pretty urgent. We're talking about a critical vulnerability that's recently been disclosed and, patched by Fortinet, specifically something impacting their FortiWeb web application firewall.
Yeah, and I think the key word here is critical, and also the fact that, real-world exploitation is already underway, so it's not a theoretical threat anymore. It's actually happening out there in the wild.
Exactly. So for anyone out there using FortiWeb or honestly, anyone who just wants to stay informed about significant threats, you're going to want to stick around for this one. We're diving deep into CVE 25.25.25.7.
So, Alex, this CVE 25.25.25.7, it's a mouthful, but it's really significant. What we're looking at here is a critical pre-authentication SQL injection vulnerability.
Right. And for those who might not be super familiar, this is impacting Fortinet's FortiWeb product, which is, their web application firewall. It's designed to protect web applications from various attacks, but in this case, it's actually the target.
Yeah, and that's kind of the scary part, isn't it? A firewall that's supposed to protect you now has this massive hole. The rating on this thing, it's a CVSS 9.8. That's about as high as it gets on the severity scale. So it really underscores how serious this is.
Exactly. A 9.8, that's practically off the charts. It means it's extremely severe. And the reason for that high score is really twofold. It's a pre-authentication vulnerability, and it allows for unauthenticated remote code execution.
Yeah, which means effectively an attacker doesn't need to log in, doesn't need any special credentials or anything like that. They can just exploit it right off the bat, And then remote code execution means they can actually run their own code on the system.
And that's where it gets truly dangerous, Jordan. Running their own code means complete control. Imagine someone just walking into your house and immediately changing the locks. They take over the device.
So they're not just getting info, they're taking the keys to the kingdom.
Precisely. Full system access. Now, for our listeners, SQL injection is about how databases communicate. Applications like FortiWeb use SQL to ask for information or tell the database what to do.
Like checking a username and password.
Exactly. With SQL injection, an attacker inserts malicious code. This tricks the database into executing commands it wasn't supposed to. It's like slipping a secret instruction into a standard request, and the system just processes it.
Oh, okay, so they're sneaking in commands. And pre-authentication means no valid login needed. They just hit FortiWeb's public interface, and boom.
That's the critical point. No credentials. An unauthenticated attacker sends these specially crafted SQL queries, and because of this flaw, the system executes their commands. It's like a locked door that opens if you know the right hidden phrase.
Man, that's terrifying. So anyone on the internet can craft a specific text, send it to your FortiWeb device, and they're running code on it. That's a full compromise potential. It really highlights why that 9.8 CVSS score is so deserved.
Absolutely. Worst case scenario, because FortiWeb is a web-facing firewall. Your attack surface is essentially the entire internet. And this is why Fortinet's urging immediate action.
So wait, Alex, you mentioned Fortinet is urging immediate action. And that's for good reason, right? Because this isn't just a theoretical vulnerability anymore, is it?
No, Jordan, absolutely not. And this is actually what makes this particular CVE even more critical. The exploits for CVE 25257 are, in fact, publicly available.
Oh, wow. Publicly available. So like anyone with, a bit of know-how can just find these exploits and use them. That's not good.
Exactly. It means the barrier to entry for attackers is incredibly low. Now, it's not just sophisticated state-sponsored actors you have to worry about. Script kiddies, cyber criminals, anyone can get their hands on these tools and, well, try to exploit FortiWeb instances. That makes the threat immediate and widespread.
So this isn't a wait-and-see kind of situation then. If you're running FortiWeb, you really need to be acting right now. What are the specific versions that need patching, and what should organizations be doing?
That's the key message, Jordan. Immediate action is paramount. Fortinet has, thankfully, released patches. They're urging organizations to update their FortiWeb instances without delay to these specific versions: 7.6.4, 7.4.8, 7.2.11, and 7.0.11.
So to be clear, 7.6.4, 7.4.8, 7.2.11, and 7.0.11. If you're on an older version of FortiWeb, you need to be updating to one of those patched releases.
That's right. And I can't stress this enough. If you're using FortiWeb as your web application firewall, you need to confirm your version like yesterday and get those updates deployed. This isn't a patch you schedule for next week's maintenance window. This is a drop everything and patch situation.
I mean, given that it's a pre-auth remote code execution and the exploits are out there in the wild, if you haven't patched, you're essentially leaving your front door wide open for, well, anyone. It's not a question of if you'll be targeted, but when someone tries to take advantage.
Precisely. The attack surface is the internet, and the tools are readily available. It's a race against time, honestly. Organizations should treat this with the highest possible urgency. So, Jordan, to really wrap up this critical point, the absolute number one takeaway here is, well, patching. Patching now.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it, but it really bears repeating, like, loudly and clearly. If you have any FortiWeb instances running on those affected versions, that's 7.6.4, 7.4.8, 7.2.11, and 7.0.11, you cannot afford to delay. Like, this isn't a suggestion, it's a mandate.
It really is. Think of it less as a typical software update and more like patching a gaping hole in your security perimeter, because that's effectively what it is. An unauthenticated attacker could just waltz in.
And beyond this specific CVE, which is, urgent, this really highlights the broader importance of just having a robust vulnerability management program in place. This won't be the last critical vulnerability we see.
Absolutely. It's about being proactive, not reactive, right? This incident serves as a pretty stark reminder that constant vigilance is just non-negotiable in cybersecurity. You really need to have systems in place to identify your assets, know what software versions you're running, and then have a really fast patching process for critical flaws like this one.
Yeah, and I think it also just speaks to having a clear inventory of all your internet-facing assets. Because if you don't even know you're running a vulnerable FortiWeb instance, you can't patch it. So inventory, patch management, and then, keeping an eye on these kinds of critical security advisories, it's all part of the continuous effort.
Exactly. It's a continuous ongoing battle. There's no set it and forget it when it comes to cybersecurity, especially with critical infrastructure components like web application firewalls. So scan regularly, subscribe to threat intelligence feeds, and just make patching a top-tier priority. Well, that brings us to the end of another urgent episode of the Cyber Vanguard, Jordan.
It really does, Alex. And just to reiterate, folks, the big takeaway today is that critical Fortinet FortiWeb vulnerability, CVE 2025-25-25-7, it's a pre-auth SQL injection allowing unauthenticated remote code execution. And exploits are out there in the wild.
So if you're running FortiWeb, especially versions 7.6.4, 7.4.8, 7.2.11 or 7.0.11, please update immediately. It's like paramount for your security.
Absolutely. And for more details, including, the nitty-gritty and the specific link, you can always check out the full article on the Hacker News. Just head over to thehackernews.com/2025.07/Fortinet releases patch for critical.html.
That's right. Thank you so much for tuning in and staying informed with us on the Cyber Vanguard. Your security, frankly, really matters.
Indeed. Stay safe out there, stay vigilant, and we'll catch you next time.